I got it, you take it. No, please, after you. The Pittsburgh Penguins and Chicago Blackhawks took about 20 minutes to figure out who would be the team to lay down at PPG Paints Arena. I am Dan Kingerski on the Pittsburgh Hockey Now platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else. Eventually, the Pittsburgh Penguins beat Chicago 5-0. Some big storylines coming out of Tuesday, however. Late in the second period, about 5 minutes to go, or even a little bit less than that, Rutger McGroarty kicks out the boot to block a Connor Bedard slap shot. No, kid. No, don't do that. He blocks the shot, but then hobbles off the ice, needs help down the runway to the Penguins' room. No word on him. People saw him leaving the arena in a walking boot. Uh-oh. That's bad news, not really for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. We'll find out probably on Thursday, unless the Penguins make an off-day announcement on Wednesday. We'll find out Thursday a bit more about Rutger McGroarty. But the first period had a few interestingly very good performances before we got to the fun in the second period. Let's talk about the first period. The first period performances were kind of like revenge of the fanboy targets. The players who I thought had the best first 20 minutes for the Penguins, Matt Nieto, Ryan Graves, and Tristan Jarry. I can feel you rolling your eyes and going, muttering something under your breath. Nieto, a couple of nice plays in the offensive zone, tips the puck through his legs on goal. He was having a bit of a game. Ryan Graves asserted himself as well, got his feet moving. I think that is the biggest thing that Graves has lacked. He had, a decent first couple or few months of the season, but it really has gone downhill steadily since then. And really, when he's not moving his feet, when he's not getting to spots, when he's not engaging and moving, he's literally a pylon. And he had some rough moments. Look, the Penguins' defense in the first period especially was rough. But give me a moment to get there. Graves got his feet moving in the offensive zone. Couple shots, including one that just hit the post solidly. You feel like he needed that confidence because the game has just been sort of beating him down. Now, Tristan Jarry kind of goes hand in hand with the Penguins' defense. The foibles of the Penguins' defense. They tightened up in the second and the third period. But the first period was more of the same we've seen from the last week. Odd man rushes. What are you thinking? Sort of puck management. And Tristan Jarry had to make 7 saves. Only 7 saves in the first period. You're like, 7 saves. Probably 4 of those were high danger chances, odd man rushes. Jarry made those. Here's the big thing with the Penguins. When they get A-level goaltending, they are infinitely more competitive. I suppose that goes without saying for any team, but the Penguins especially need that A-level goaltending, and they got it. If Jarry allows any one of those high danger chances in the first period, young Chicago probably gets emboldened, and the Penguins probably shrink. That's this time of year. Teams, show up for a game, and when something bad goes happen, they pack up the U-Haul, and they're ready to go. The Penguins got the bounces. They made the plays, and, they essentially coasted to a 5-0 win. Kevin Hayes, he had a pretty good game later. He scored a couple of goals. Sidney Crosby got kind of an awkward one-timer. I don't know if you saw it as much on television as we did here in person, but, Rust sort of fed him a pass, and Crosby just kind of turned and whipped the one-timer. I guess, put the right bottom hand down, the left, and he was laughing. I don't think he quite expected such a pretty goal, or if it was intentional, whatever. But the second period, the humorous part, the fun part of the game, especially I think for me and maybe a few of you, was watching Crosby and watching Brian Rust look for Ville Koivunen at all points. Now, after the first period, Coach Mike Sullivan, flipped Koivunen and McGroarty. He puts McGroarty down on the second line with Malkin. He puts Koivunen up with Crosby and Rust. Didn't get a chance to ask Sullivan after the game. Sullivan had a meeting after the game. It's a first for me, but, I'm not going into the speculation because I don't think any of it holds any water. Having said all that, didn't get a chance to ask Sullivan about that line flip, right? But Rust and Crosby, you could see them literally on the ice holding the puck, passing up shots, passing up other maybe more simple plays, looking for Koivunen. Where is he? Let's get this kid a goal. Felt like, Big Daddy, Adam Sandler, about to yell, "Can someone get this kid a Happy Meal?" They were trying. Oh, they were trying to get Koivunen a goal. In fact, I asked Koivunen about, or if the star players were looking for him, and he kind of, gave a sheepish smile, maybe a little bit. He conceded. Also in the third period, too. He added, or the last period, I think was the exact quote. He certainly enjoyed himself, and I think the team was enjoying trying to get the rookie his first goal. Oh, it's going to happen. There's not much question about that. I could probably spend 10 or 15 minutes just talking about what Koivunen brings to the game. He is, as I said after his first or second game, he's much better at the NHL game than he is in the AHL game because of the structure, the predictability. He's added a step to his skating. He's a little stronger since the beginning of the year. All of these things have kind of combined to create a pretty good hockey player. There's not going to be, well, I shouldn't say that definitively. There's probably not going to be much of a regression in Koivunen's game because he's getting better and better with each game. And that first goal, maybe it's New Jersey, maybe it's back home. Heck, maybe he trails Alex Ovechkin by 894 goals in the final game of the season, but they're going to get him that goal. And it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable watching the leaders just trying to give, and that was kind of first-rate leadership. So that's it from PPG. I got no jokes for you. I got nothing else. It was a 5-0 win. It was still a bit of a snoozer. Chicago, at this point, second worst team in the NHL. They lack the fire, lack the heart, all of that. It is. I caution you, the Pittsburgh Penguins may very well find themselves in this sort of situation next season, where they're out of it by December. That's a real possibility, depending on the offseason. So I suppose enjoy the competitiveness, enjoy these moments like with Crosby and Koivunen while you can. From the barn, they're tearing down behind me. I will talk to you again. We'll try to do a live chat. I guess Wednesday. I can do one Wednesday. We'll do the live chat then, and I will see you in New Jersey as well. Until then, kids, have fun.